Hello everybody, Joe Bagadonis here. Welcome back to another episode of Full Metal Daemon Muramasa. Last time we left off, we finished up Chapter 5 and got our bad end because, we ran out of heroines. And, story can't go on like that, so we just died. Oops. Yeah. Time to reload. Hopefully this will go quick. There's only 2 choices in Chapter 4. And I actually don't know how fast the skip function is on this, but if it's like really, really slow, I'll just cut between, new scenes, so that way we're not just watching the text fly by for like 15 minutes. Alright, I think we're this one. Yeah, save Ichijo, follow the plan. We followed the plan last time, which is where we went wrong, because we did the right thing. And for, Ginseigo 2, the little egg creature. I think we chose She's Not My Daughter, but, the way fucking Kakiyagi thinks probably would be, oh, she is my daughter, so I must kill her myself. To take responsibility or whatever. Save Ichijo. Please. Man, we haven't heard you in a while. Yeah, we really don't need fucking Sorimachi to be the one to save you. The words sound absurd even as I speak them. Yeah, trust the plan. If I can just survive one shot. My innards boil. My vision fades. I can't. Oh no, unless that is also a dead end?
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, we still got beef. What? Yes, the burning wave has ceased. Mercy? Not now, surely. The enemy appears just as confused. Its head swivels around, searching frantically for the cause. Still, I see nothing wrong with its... Ow. An accident? Or was it... Also, learn to stay cool as you're being fried by a giant laser beam.
Muramasa!
Oh, and we still get an affection point for that? Okay. Unavoidable, I suppose. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty quick skip. Let's let it play out and get seizures from all the giant flashing lights and, and twisting screens. Yeah, we're almost there. Yep, any minute now. I'm too lazy to actually do some editing, so we're just gonna have to deal with it like this. Oh, but then we're gonna have to, skip the entirety of Chapter 5. That's definitely gonna be cut. I'm not gonna subject you to, 30 minutes of us just watching text flash by on the screen. That's a bit much even for me. All the memories, they're coming back. I remember what happened in the story. Man, I'm kind of hungry right now. I just rolled out of bed. It's 2 in the afternoon. So this video's going up late, don't worry. But I don't know what it was. I went to bed at a, reasonable time for when I get off work. I get off work around midnight, and I went to bed around 1:30 in the morning. Still decided to sleep, 12, 13 hours for some reason. Must be because it's getting cool outside, and my second floor is no longer turning into a convection oven, the instant the sun rises. So I'm actually able to sleep in and enjoy myself. Hell, it's even getting to the point where I turn on my heated blanket to go to sleep, and I don't have to wake up in the morning to turn it off and then go back to sleep. getting a nice, cool, like 40, 42 degrees outside during the night, which means, you know, in the morning it's only getting up to like 50 or 60. Feels good, man. Yeah, what's up, Masamune? We saw you for all of 5 seconds last time before, you know, we killed Ichijo. In a lapse of judgment, she is my daughter. I kind of want Sean Connery there for some reason. Yes, she's right. They are the same. There we go. That's all we had to do. And with that recognition, the curse takes hold. I have, after all, just slain Major Gargant. I raise my blade and attack the girl, driven by the desire to hold her in my arms. Her eyes stare up at me in shock. I run my blade through her heart. Why, her eyes ask, why do you kill me? I love you so much. Don't you love me too? Don't you love me, Daddy? I cut into her innocent face, that face I cannot help but adore. And still she reaches out to me, desperate for my affection. I love you. Love me. Please love me. Please. As blood pools around my feet, I look to the sky and ready my sword. One more remains. And Seigo is laughing like a victorious conqueror.
愉快愉快見せてもらったぞ影明見事ななんとも素晴らしい愛しっぷりだ
Sure? You forced me to kill this thing, didn't you? You enjoyed it, didn't you? You're not Hikaru. You're a demon. She rises into the night, as graceful as ever, a silver fish in a lake of darkness. I was thinking silverfish like from Minecraft? And skip. Yep, you're just gonna lose again, bud. Always will. Oh, God. What a fucking thing to fade out to. Alright, it's gonna be a hot second, so we'll just see you after this entire chapter is finished fast-forwarding. Alright, bye. Okay, so, yeah, something happened. I was looking away at my phone, honestly, because it was just fast-forwarding through the chapters, and it seems like we got the same dead end, so I'm gonna pull up a guide to see where I fucked up, and we might have to go farther back in time. Okay, see you in a sec. 3, 2, 1. Okay, yeah, turns out I need to, like, pretty much restart the entire game, basically. Oof, nice, fantastic. That's unfortunate for me. Yeah. 'Cause even going back to, like, chapter 3, I'm like, oh, maybe it's like, you know, make a choice at the end there, and then go into chapter 4 and make all those choices. No. No, they didn't do it. Don't know why. Ichijo is very much alive at the end of chapter 4 there. And at the end of chapter 5, it's still just, you know, brought us into the bad end of it's been years and I've killed and killed. I've killed everyone. We made no progress. Everyone's dead. Now I have to die. Yada yada. So, yeah. I'll be back whenever I figure this out. Be stitching together a bunch of disparate scenes between all the chapters, so that way we're all on the same page. All right. See you in a bit. Okay, we're all the way back in like chapter 2. Or goddamn, chapter 1 actually. I think I know where I went wrong. Because I was all on the fucking Otori route originally, you know. What I thought would have been the Otori route. I'm like, "Oh yeah, duh, fucking it's like, ooh, who are you a couple with? Are you with Otori?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I suppose." I think I should have gone, no, Lene, however. And then from there, it's basically just everything else is like Otori. Because where's the load screen? Hold on. Because then the next choice is a well-shaped one. No, that's... For some reason, I have to make that choice too. Weird. Whatever. We'll be doing all these random scenes. A man like me is hardly a match for a well-bred lady such as the lieutenant. If I had to choose, wouldn't that Ayane Ichijo be a more suitable partner? Hardly a flattering sentiment. Best keep it to myself if I ever see her again.
あれは別の女性のことを考えている顔ですよ。なんて憎たらしい。
There we go. Man, been a while since we had so many different roles there in the affection chart. Alright, see you guys at the next choice. Alright, next choice. What kind of rice ball do we want? A well-shaped one. I pick up one of the neatly made onigiri. It fits perfectly in my hand, like it was molded for that purpose. I take a bite. The salting is impeccable.
お見事です。なんとも丁寧に作られた握り飯。真心の伝わる料理とは。
Oh, I'm sure it's
まさに
fantastic.
こういった
Don't
も
rub
の
it
の
in.
ことでしょう。
Like I said, I haven't eaten yet today. Fuki staggers slightly, then regains her balance. Is it my imagination, or those stars in her eyes?
どんどん食べてくださいね。たくさんありますから。
はい。
I set to eating. Nom 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 nom. Yeah, we're basically having to go through the entire game again. Just fast forwarding. Alright, see you at the next one. Okay, can we fucking trust Lieutenant Kaine Otori? I think the last time we said no, so now we have to... I mean, I think the last time we said yes, but because we're going on the Ichijo route, we gotta say no.
現状では不可能です。有能な人物であろうことには伺えるだけに。
Yeah, so it seems like going so hard in choosing the Kaine options last time. I just completely fucking blocked myself out of possibly like fully landing on the Ichijo route.
そうか。
So even though she was, you know, the only heroine alive, I just didn't have enough points to flip onto her route, so we just kept on dead ending. Well, now I will see you guys all the way at the end of chapter 5, whenever we're supposedly on the hero route now. It's gonna take me like 20 minutes to get there. No joke. I'm already at 40 minutes of recording of just skipping through a bunch of stuff. So I'm actually gonna stop my recording here, and we'll just reconvene when we're at the end there. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Okay, and we're back. Yes, we're still in chapter, what is this, 4 here. I found there's a faster skip than just the control skip. If you hit the end key, it goes into fast velocity or high velocity skip, and it's just advanced to the next choice. Or I'm going to assume unread dialogue. Because we've already read this, but for some reason the game doesn't want to, you know, remember that we've gone through this twice. I guess it's because we've never made a save point after reading the this text, so the game doesn't
見事
think we did.
金星逃がすか
There we go. Fast little spider. All right, cool. Woo! We're here. We're finally here. On the hero route. So I'm gonna drop a save. So that way I don't have to do all this again. Save there. Yeah. Then there's one down here. Save 11 or whatever. We can delete that. Okay. Finally. God, I'm gonna have to cut together so much footage later. His name was Tokita Mitsuo. He was a young freelance journalist chasing stories of the Crimson Musha. After shifting countless fragments of gossip and rumor, he finally uncovered a pattern. There was, he discovered, a prisoner at Kamakura City Jail who, unlike every other prisoner, had been discharged on multiple occasions only to resume his incarceration shortly after each. As it so happened, the dates of discharge coincided with several of the more credible Crimson Musha sightings. This pattern, of course, led him straight to me. At our first meeting, I quickly learned that he was motivated by more than just journalistic curiosity. A bright flame burned in his heart, the flame of righteous anger against the oppressor. He called me a beacon of hope, one man who dared to take a stand against evil. Stories of my deeds would give people courage and sow the seeds of Rokuhara's downfall. The pen is mightier than the sword, so he believed with all his heart. Tokita begged me to let him tell my story. It would be his way of fighting at my side. When I refused, he left undaunted, promising to prove his intentions were true. This he did by tracking down the rampaging Musha who had attacked me some days before. Aoe Sadatsugu. It cost him an arm. When I visited him in the hospital after killing Aoe, Tokita smiled at me and said, "See, my pen triumphed over a sword. I was right." He was right. I could not have ended Aoe's killing spree without him. When I told him this, he looked away, embarrassed. I took his head. His pen did not save him. I betrayed all that he stood for. All right, now we're finally done chapter 5. So much for my intentions to just get through this thing without having to use a guide and just kind of, free form my way through it. Oops. The Mongol invasion. So Ichijo's storybook called it. Storybook or regular book? History book? What did that say? School book? History books. When it began, he was but a common blacksmith from a small village in Sagami. He spent his days forging farm tools, horseshoes, cooking utensils, all the implements of village life. He never considered forging a tsurugi. The village had no need of one, and even if it had, he did not know how. He had, however, forged the occasional sword or spear. Even a mountain village needed protection against wolves and bandits, though the latter were rare in Kanto, the shogun's seat of power. One day, the lord of Sagami had occasion to examine one such sword. He was impressed. Though the weapon was not a masterpiece by any measure, it evidenced skill beyond the blacksmith's station. So it was that in the 4th year of Koan, 1281 by the Western calendar, when the lord of Sagami marched to the shogun's call, he brought the blacksmith with him to serve his army. The blacksmith performed his duties diligently. He knew nothing of where they were going or whom the weapons he honed were meant to slay, nor truly did he care. So what if another provincial lordling had bucked Kamakura's rule? Their bid would fail, and hopefully soon, before any more men were conscripted from his village. But the march went on for days and days, until at last they reached the sea. When he was ordered to help construct the boats that would carry them to the land across, he realized that they were bound for Kyushu, many hundreds of leagues from home. What could have brought the armies of Kanto so far to the west? Local forces should have been enough to quash any rebellion. He and the other worksmen wondered, but of course, no warrior cared to allay their concerns. It was only when they crossed Kyushu itself that he got his answer. There, on the shore of the westernmost ocean, camped a great army drawn from all across Yamato. The enemy, he learned, was coming from the sea, from the distant continent, whose existence until now he had thought mere legend. From a cook who had come with the first forces to arrive, he learned that the enemy had already taken several outlying islands. Casualties on those islands, it seemed, were severe. Even here in Hakata, the situation was dire. Yamato and Musha had engaged multiple enemy scouting parties, and each engagement had cost the shogun's vassals dearly. The enemy's Musha were too agile. Although Yamato possessed superior speed, they could not maintain their advantage in the air. Listening to the cook's story, the blacksmith felt fear coil in his gut. What use would his swords be against such an enemy? The Lord of Sagami seemed to sense his doubt. He summoned the blacksmith and warned him to stay faithful to his duties. The blacksmith swore that he would. In truth, however, he had already begun preparing to flee, as had most of his fellow conscripts. He felt no duty towards his lord. Even if he had, it was not worth his life. He wanted only to survive and return to his village. The warriors could fight their wars without him. After all, even if the shogun's men lost, it would hardly affect him in distant Kanto. Perhaps the enemy would pillage Kyushu, but though he pitied the people of this island, they were not his responsibility. And besides, the enemy was human too, were they not? Oh, he had heard stories of these Mongols, that they drank the blood of their foes and made drums from their skin, but years of hammering and sifting the impurities from steel had perhaps dulled the blacksmith's imagination. Words are hard. These Mongols had ships and sarugis, just like his people. Surely the men who sailed these ships and wielded those sarugi would not be so different. Even if the worst happened, and Yamato itself were conquered, little would change for peasants like him. One ruler was much the same as another. This the blacksmith did not doubt. At last came the day of the battle. The fleets of the enemy covered the horizon, and their musha gathered like clouds in the sky. At a glance, it was clear that they outnumbered Yamato's forces by a factor of 2 or more. Much of the supply train had already fled, and the warriors, stricken by terror, were of no mind to drag them back. The blacksmith had remained behind, not out of loyalty or courage, but because he thought it better to be labeled a casualty rather than a deserter. He would escape, he had decided, amidst the chaos of battle. This choice changed his life forever. The Mongols advanced across the sea, horns and drums sounding in challenge. Yamato's forces tightened their ranks, with bated breath awaited the carnage to come. It was not long, however, before they saw something that changed the nature of their fear entirely. The first to notice it were the archers, who possessed the keenest eyesight. One by one they all fell silent, or dropped to their knees with groans of dismay. Their comrades regarded them with confusion, but soon they saw it for themselves. The blacksmith saw too. He saw what the Mongols were doing on their ships. Dozens of women, Yamato's women, were lined up on the decks of each ship. They were naked, prostrate, posteriors raised like beasts of the field. Behind them stood men in unfamiliar garb. Their faces were not of Yamatoan, nor were the tongues in which they traded crude jokes with their peers. The men were raping Yamato's women, with laughter growing with the women's cries. The blacksmith recalled a rumor he'd heard of an island village that had fallen to the Mongols. The invaders had massacred the villagers' men, but the women they had taken for their own. The women made no attempt to escape their torment. Surely some would have chosen to drown if they could. It was the chains. Every woman was chained to the deck, her hands pierced with heavy nails. They could not run, not even into death. The Mongols had taken this choice from them as well. All of the women were young, maidens in the flower of their beauty, or those who were yet buds on the vine. One girl, particularly young, was raped by several men in succession. The last was a true giant of a warrior, his manhood far too large for the girl to accept. He could not enter her, no matter how hard he tried. The warrior's comrades roared with laughter. Face red with shame, the warrior tore the girl from the deck, pounded her face into a bloody ruin, and flung her limp remains over the side. The corpse hung there, swinging from its chains. Tearing his eyes away, the blacksmith saw that every ship was similarly decorated. One crew had mounted its women on pikes. One crew had taken its women apart and displayed the pieces separately. One crew's contribution was particularly noteworthy. The ship's women were older, on average. Something was hanging from each woman's neck. Yes, something. Not alive. Not that. Not anymore. Such sights as the blacksmith had never imagined, not in his most lurid nightmares. Here, there, everywhere, as far as the eye could see. Surely no man could do such things. And then he knew that he had been wrong. These are not men at all, not human. Truth came to him like a bolt of lightning. There are demons in this world. One by one, his comrades too realized what they were facing. Some collapsed, stricken by despair. Others fled, howling in terror. Not the blacksmith. He did not despair. Thunder pealed across the sky. The enemy's Musho were approaching. Below, Mongol soldiers piled into boats and rowed hard for the virgin shore. The blacksmith strode to the front of the line. In his right hand, he held a sword, one of those he had forged himself, but he wore no armor, just a tunic of plain wool. And yet, as his enemies' poisoned arrows and strange exploding spheres blotted out the sun, he strode fearless into battle. His mind was empty. He had no more need of thought. In that moment, as in every moment after, he embodied a single purpose. Kill them all. And so, instead of fading into the background of history as once he had desired, the blacksmith instead embarked on a path that would lead him to the very height of glory. The blacksmith was gravely wounded, but by some miracle he survived. His lonely advance had spurred the shogun's men to action. Unwilling to cede their honor to a peasant, they surged ahead of him like a tidal wave. In the end, victory was Yamato's that day. The enemy's assault was savage and relentless, but the brave warriors pushed the Mongols back and held the line until, with all of nature's fury, a typhoon came and swept them from the sea. When it had passed, they beheld the wreckage of the Mongols' mighty fleet. The men of Yamato fell to their knees and praised every god and Buddha they could name. The blacksmith did not begrudge them their worship, nor did he join in their celebrations. In his mind, the gods had been too late. The divine wind had not come until the first wave of Mongols had been driven from the shore and hundreds of Yamato's finest lay dead. He would not put his faith in such fickle powers. There was too much evil in this world for that. Oh yes, he had no illusions. The Mongols too had once been men. Only men gave birth to demons. With this new understanding like a fire in his breast, he drove his battle-scarred body back to Kanto, and when he reached the crossroads that led to his village, he turned his back on his home without a second thought. Instead, he journeyed to Kamakura and sought apprenticeship with Shintogo Kunimitsu, then the most revered tsurugi smith in the East. He needed power to smite the wicked. Only a tsurugi could grant him that. His advances were rebuffed, however. Tsurugi smithing was a sacred art, to be passed from parent to child and none other. Kunimitsu would not teach a man who shared no common blood. Besides, the man was too old. Most tsurugi smiths began their training from the day they could walk. Never had one begun so late. And finally, he was but Yamatoan, not an emishi born to the forge. Even if he learned their arts, any tsurugi he forged would be inferior. So judged Kunimitsu, and so judged Kunimitsu's peers and disciples. They met the blacksmith with laughters and jeers, and perhaps with a flicker of fear on their faces. For the man's eyes shone with a light not wholly sane, and he spoke of naught but demons and the death they would deliver, and the death he would deliver them. Salvation came from a direction nobody expected. Man, I just can't speak today. I think I bit the inside of my cheek in my sleep, and it's like puffy and swollen. So I always keep trying to kind of have my jaw cockeyed so I'm not biting it again. Can I read this? I already did, yeah. Salvation came from a direction nobody expected. Each school of tsurugi smithing passed its knowledge from parent to child. When the child had learned all that the parent can teach, the parent commits their soul to the forge. This had always been the way. However, this way carries risks. Should an accident befall the successor, for example, the secrets of the school may be lost, for the old master is now but silent metal and cannot teach another. In order to prevent such tragedies, clans select one disciple, often the youngest, in each generation to become the guardian of the line. This smith does not forge a tsurugi, but lives out his days teaching those who come after and ensuring that their secrets are not forgotten. When Kunimitsu's disciples rose to grab the blacksmith and fling him frothing from their gates, it was Kunimitsu's uncle, guardian of the Shintogo line, who intervened. He bade them show their guest to his chambers, and there he addressed the blacksmith thus. Truly, you are a tsurugi smith born. I prepared many kinsmen for the forge. For most, it is a labor of many years, but it will not be so for you. The old smith was wise indeed, for tsurugi smithing is an art of transmuting oneself into a stronger form. It requires a consummate understanding of one's nature and one's way. This man already knew the shape of his soul, and the purpose of which he would bend his art. Thus, this human, this lowly toolsmith, already possessed what it took most emishi their whole lives to obtain. And so the blacksmith's will took form. Goro Nyudo Masamune of Soshu, a tsurugi forged to smite evil. Though crafted by the hand of no emishi, this tsurugi was unmatched by any under heaven. All who beheld it were entranced by its beauty, and by the might which that beauty represented. To think that a mere Yamatoan could accomplish such craft, emishi wept tears of despair, while Yamatoan smiths felt hope fill their hearts. If Masamune had found a master and gone to battle as he wished, his legend would surely have swept the land. Many Yamatoan smiths, inspired by his example, would have pushed the limits of their art, perhaps enough to surpass the emishi entire. That this did not occur was, as irony would have it, due entirely to Masamune's peerless skill. Alas, he had forged too well. Though it graced the armories of daimyo, shoguns, and emperors, not one warrior ever donned his armor, for its majesty was that of the gods, awesome and involatile. What man would dare to sully it with blood? Such a treasure was meant to be worshipped, all agreed, not worn into battle. This was not the glorious crusade he'd imagined. The legend earned on a pedestal meant nothing. He longed for a master who would share in his purpose and wield him against the legions of evil. Such a master never came. After some time in the keeping of Oda Nobunaga, Masamune vanished from the public eye. He passed in secret from owner to owner, until finally, he was taken to a mountain village and enshrined there to hold a calamity at bay. But though his shell lay dormant, there in the darkness, his soul never stopped screaming. There are still demons in this world. I must kill them all. And so the centuries passed.
700年あまりにも長い無為の日々であった。しかし今こそ我はしてと共にある。参ろうぞ御堂。今の世にも猛虎は跋扈しておるにする。政宗の刃にて切り滅ぼさん。
Ichijo had studied her history. She knew that the Mongol invasion was not a battle of good versus evil. It was, as most wars are, a matter of economics and policy. But what difference does that make? Masamune knows that too. For him, the invasion was only the catalyst. It taught him that there is evil in the world, evil that must never be forgotten. Oh, the metaphysical Mongols, gotcha. Not the Mongolians over there in Mongolia. Yes. Yes. You must never forgive the wicked. You must hate them to the last.
行こうぞ御堂。
To battle, evil awaits.
嘘だ嘘だ嘘だ嘘だ
Yeah.
あの人が罪のない人間まで殺して回ってるだと
I mean, you could just ask him about it. He'd probably tell you the truth.
てめえよくもそんないい加減なことを
聞いてみりゃいいんですよ。
何
本人に聞けばいいんですよ、ジョー。ジョーのようなお人に面と向かって聞かれちまったら、多分ね。
Thanks, Oromachi. This is not a story of heroes. And still, a hero has come. Woo! Hero route! Let's go! It's only taken me an hour to get here, but... The Shogun is dead! At 6 o'clock this morning, Shogunate officials announced the death of, Rikue Shogun, Lord Ashikaga Moriuji, until a new shogun is formally appointed. Lord Moriuji's grandson, Lord Shiro Kuniuji, will command the Dragon Army. No details have been given regarding the precise time or cause of the shogun's death, leading many to speculate as to what, or who, might have played a role in this national tragedy. Many also wonder if the shogun's pilgrimage to Hachimen Shrine, which had remained closed to the public ever since, may somehow be related. While sources report that there exists no evidence linking the shogun's death to any particular group, these same sources confirm that the shogun was in excellent health, which suggests that natural causes are unlikely to have been a factor. Meanwhile, in Yokohama, the acting commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, General Willow, issued a statement. I toss the tabloid sheet down on the table and breathe a heavy sigh. It does little to relieve my unease. The shogun is dead. Though the circumstances of his passing remain a mystery, its fact is no longer a question. No doubt many glasses will be raised in celebration tonight. Not in any public venue, of course, though were it not for the vigilance of the Kamakura Watch, I suspect that the city might have found itself hosting an impromptu festival of sorts. Perhaps I should give my fellow citizens some credit. Some of them must understand that the shogun's death is not entirely cause to rejoice. Ashikage... I really want to call him Ashikage. No, it's Ashikaga. Moriuji was unequivocally a tyrant. Like a stone set on the lid of an urn, he kept Yamato and her people trapped in darkness. With that weight now gone, what must the people feel? Relief, yes, but also fear. Now there is no telling what storm or quake might spill us onto the cold, hard ground. So when the people of Kamakura raise their glasses tonight, perhaps it will be a more somber affair. Either way, I have no inclination to join them. My thoughts are consumed by a conversation that took place not 5 days ago. Can't imagine that these events aren't connected.
いやー、よう来てくれたね、影明くん。こないだご苦労さん、所長から聞いてるい。またえらい迷惑かけてもうたね。
Yeah, it was pretty rough there, man.
は、身に余るお言葉なれと。先日の件は宮殿下のご忠告を無下にせし、この身が自ら招いたこと。
Yeah, still need to get done.
お気遣いは無用に願います。しかも、肝心なる銀星号はまたしても取り逃がし、未だ長領を許している始末。
まあそう言わんで。六原の危険な兵器はぶっ壊した。GHQ の陰謀の裏も取れた。
Yep, gotta count the wins when you can get them.
影明くんも無事に帰ってきた。ならよしとしとこやないか。
は。
I bowed deeply to the screen. 3 meetings with the prince, and already I'm inured to his entirely unprince-like demeanor. Inured? Okay. In the corner of my eye, I catch the commissioner's gaze. It seems probing. Nearly 2 weeks have passed since the Enoshima incident, and though I was forced to deal with Aoi in the interim, my spirit and body have largely recovered. He can't be concerned that I'll break down an audience. What did I say? Yeah, he can't be concerned that I'll break down an audience. In which case, he turns to face the dais.
殿下。
ああ、影明くんな。
はい。
今日来てもろたんは今後のことをちょっと話したくてな。
Yeah, pieces have been shifting around real quick, huh? I slide my knees a pace forward.
もそっと。
I do as ordered. My knees draw even with the commissioners, close enough to reach out and touch the screen. What could His Highness wish to discuss? Future plans? But my course is set. One egg still remains. I must kill the last infected, restore Muramasa's Nodachi, and finally, kill the source, Ginseigo. Once that is done and my duty complete, I can at last stand trial for the murders I've committed. 2 more enemies. And 2 innocents to pay for them.
影明？
申し訳ありません。少し疲れが。
そらあかん。少し休むとええ。話は急ぎなんやけど、1分1秒争うってもんでもないしね。
Let's get this knocked down, then I can go crash on your couch or something.
なあ所長。
はあ、いえ、どうかお気遣いなきを。
I clench my molars and peel back my eyelids, summoning all of my hatred and disgust to drive the weakness from my flesh. Tired? Exhaustion is a luxury. I lost that right when I took it from the others, when I ensured that they would never again feel its kiss. If any cell in my body still knows shame, I will not succumb to it now. After a moment, the faintness passes. Still, that was close. Too close. I'm pushing myself harder than I know. Perhaps I should be careful. Stop. You're doing it again.
申し訳ありません。見苦しい振る舞いをお目にかけました。どうぞ。
ええんか。
The prince hesitates, but only for a moment. He did say the matter was pressing. I hear a rustle behind the curtain, and his silhouette grows larger.
影明くん。
は。
わしはな、このまま大和を六原の好きにさせておきたくない。進駐軍。つまるとこ、ブリテンの属国なんてのもまっぴらごめんや思うてる。
Okay?
は。
本当はもっと穏やかにことを進めたかった。
What are we gonna do? You know, actually restore the emperor, get rid of the shogun, go parliamentary democracy.
けどどうやらそうも言うてられ。GHQ があんな乱暴な手まで打ってきてるようじゃねえ。
Yeah, they played their hand pretty hard. Turn a blind eye to Rokuhara's tyranny and cite Yamato and Musha to slaughter their countrymen, then step in to rescue Yamato from the monsters you created. Yes, you might call that playing rough.
それで、なあ。こっちも一つ思い切った手を打とうか。
ヤマトをめぐる構想を将棋に例えるなら、その盤をひっくり返してしまいかねない危険な手だ。正直、懸念は拭えない。
Yeah, we've been presented with a very slim window of opportunity here.
我々が期待するほどの時間は与えられないだろう。にもかかわらず、ただ座視するなら、それはヤマトの未来を投げ打つことを意味する。
所長。
Am I bidding him to continue, pleading that he stop? They're not so dim that I cannot see where the commissioner's circumlocutions must lead. Huh? Google?
Circumlocution.
Yeah, circumlocution. Never seen that word before. The use of many words where fewer would do, especially in a deliberate attempt to be vague or elusive. Also, like the entire script of this fucking visual novel.
敵の勢力は強大を極める。対するに、我々は弱小そのものだ。だが、戦いようはある。
上等手段ですか。
なあ、上等手段だ。
Standard practices for an inferior force besieged. Guerrilla warfare, sabotage, assassination. Not methods an officer of the law should espouse, but espouse them he does, if not in so many words.
そこまで追い詰められていると。
本当に追い詰められるまでもう時間がない、という意味だがな。
I take his meaning. Once sentence is passed, your fate is sealed. You must act before the gavel falls. He's not wrong.
標的は進駐軍であるはずがない。
Yeah.
仮に守備よく進駐軍の首脳を壊滅させられたとしても、代わりの将校団が国連本部から派遣されてくるだけのこと。
No, a strength of a properly, laid out military organization is that, I don't want to say everyone's replaceable, but they are.
むしろ、進駐軍を慌てさせ、
There's no
急進的行動に
linchpins.
駆り立てる。完全な逆効果であれば。
Neither man speaks. Their silence is enough.
狙うはもう一方。玉を。
そうなるね。
それで、ヤマトは救われましょうか。
Hard to say.
玉を取ったら勝ちってわけにはいかんけど、現実は将棋と違うしね。
影明、鎌倉幕府以来の政治的伝統を知っているだろう。
権威と権力の分離ですか。
そうだ。鎌倉幕府は大和全土に支配権を樹立するにあたって、旧来の支配者、つまり朝廷を攻め滅ぼすという手法は取らなかった。他国ならそうしていて当然だったのだがな。過去において藤原政権や平氏政権の前例があり、その形を継承することが、だが藤原氏や平氏が朝廷権力と密着したのに対して、源氏は朝廷から距離を取った。自らの政権を朝廷に承認させる形式を取ることで、朝廷の権威を保障しつつ、それを支配の大義名分に利用し、その一方、朝廷の政治介入は排したのだ。このいいとこ取りの手法は、以後も延々と継承されている。ごく短期の例外的な時代を除いて現在に至るまで。 六原でさえこの伝統は破れなかった。権威と権力の二重構造はすでに大和に根付いている。これを無理やりに覆すより、利用した方がはるかに利益は大きいからだ。
So we're going for a very late Meiji restoration. Except it won't be Meiji. Assuming the commissioner does not intend this to be a history lesson, he will soon be coming to the point.
鍵はそこにある。つまり大和の政権は支配力を確立するにあたって必ず朝廷の支持を必要とするのだ。すでに支配を確立した政権にとって朝廷は世の済んだみこしに過ぎない。
Get rid of the
あとは
shogunate,
他のもの
install
に
an
利用され
emperor,
ないよう
and then we can
静かに
negotiate with
蔵の中へ
GHQ
収まってくれ
from
て
a
いれ
more
ばそれで
advantageous
いい。
position to become, recognized as a legitimate government.
だがこれから支配を確立する政権はみこしを蔵へ眠らせておくわけにはいかん。みこしを担ぎ出して練り歩き、その意向で人々の頭を下げさせなくてはならない。
もしそのみこしに意志があり、何かしらの欲求もあるな
I
ら、
mean, like, personally, I have my own qualms against that
そうだ。
because,
みこしに頼り
I'm
たいものとしては
staunchly
聞く耳
anti-monarchism,
持たずとも行くまい。
そのための玉取り。
But, if we can get a constitutional monarchy over a military dictatorship, I'll take that. I
今
know the world's not black and white.
六原の支配は確固たる。だがその支配の頂点を失わせしめたなら、六原幕府は足利森氏という傑物の剛腕でまとめられている面が強い。何となれば当然取りこぼすものも多くあるだろうな。
If the shogun dies and the shogunate fractures, the four Kanto generals will pick up the pieces. But they are not of one mind. There will be conflict over who assumes the mantle, and in that conflict, any opportunity to remind them how useful the court may be. The prince plans to offer legitimacy, to which of the four I cannot guess, and in exchange, demand a voice in Yamato's destiny.
しかし、幕府の動揺を GHQ が見過ごすでしょうか。
見過ごしてはくれんやろ。けど、最悪の事態にはそうそうならんえ。
Shogun's death would seem the perfect opportunity for GHQ to seize control, yet the prince believes they'll pass it by.
もとも
Too
と
messy.
進駐軍は幕府が怖くて手を控えてるわけやないし、
Mm-hmm.
占領した後で国民の反発をかまんようにいろいろ工作して機会を図ってるんやろ。
はい。
ってことは、悪くて強い幕府のイメージがぐらついたら GHQ の作戦は後退する。
Yeah.
弱い幕府を潰してもろても国民にありがたがる義理はないからね。
Just vultures coming in to pick on the scraps.
なるほど。GHQ が動き出すとすれば、幕府の動揺が収まり、再び苛烈な圧政を開始した場合か。
もしくは対立が衝突になり、
Mm-hmm.
内戦の勃発
Then
に
they
至
can
った場合
intervene.
だな。
Yeah.
そうなってはもはや大和国民は進駐軍の力による安定を望むほかなくなるだろう。
当然、GHQ をそのようにすべく策動するでしょう。
難儀な戦いになるな。けどま、
Yeah, it's a little messy at the moment.
悪の六原のイメージを森氏と一緒に捨てさせて、もう少し緩やかな統治をする幕府に作り変えさせる。
Mm-hmm.
税を下げて軍も縮小してね。新しい幕府を国民が受け入れたらこっちの勝ち。
Hearts and minds, everyone. Hearts and
は
minds.
のうなるわ。
Easier said than done. But the prince knows that. He's no fool. And though he remains untested as a policymaker, the fact that he has survived Kamakura's treacherous climate despite the difficulties inherent in his position speaks to no small political acumen. If he believes that he can preempt GHQ and guide Yamato to stability, then I am in no position to argue. I do, however, have other concerns.
しかし、足利森氏という玉を取る。 そんな罪筋があるものでしょうか。
Yeah, who would the king be at this moment?
櫓囲いの敵陣に都金一枚で切り込むようなものか。
はい。
We speak to the man whom every warrior in Yamato owes fealty, a general who commands 1 million soldiers. His keep at Fudaraku is impenetrable, and even outside its walls, he's never without his personal guard. It would take an army to break through his defenses, and the prince does not have an army.
その罪筋が開くんよ。近々行われる宝刀参拝は知って
I
るや
mean,
ろ
we。do now.
は。源氏の長が八幡宮に参詣し、今年1年間の武運を感謝するとともに、来年の武運を記念するため、太刀を奉納する儀礼であるとか。
My knowledge of the subject ends there. The ceremony is not a public affair, though I gather that it is a tradition of some importance.
そう。でな、奉納する刀は2振り。地上と地下に1振りずつ。
Oh,
地下。
they're gonna fuck.
八幡宮の祭殿は2つあるんえ。初めて聞くやろ。
Or you mean 2 shrines? Oh, I
表の
thought
祭殿の奥
I
にあ
thought
る
second sword,
裏
you
参道
know,
を潜ってくとね、
meant
かなり深いとこに
you
もう
know
一つ。
down there. You know, they had a second sword. No, they're 2 shrines. Gotcha.
こいつは火中の火やけど、よそで言うたらあかんい。
I see. Shrines and temples have always been places of refuge. In times of war, that has sometimes meant serving as a place for soldiers to regroup. Some, I've read, were even constructed with features to support this role. The most famous of these is Nikko Toshugu, one of the shrines dedicated to Tokugawa Ieyasu. Though known primarily for its magnificent gate, many scholars believe that it was also intended as a final bastion should the Tokugawa clan come to disaster and Edo Castle fall. And just as Ieyasu was guardian of the Tokugawa, so Hachiman is for the Genji. That his shrine would have features more befitting a fortress comes to no surprise.
でな、地下の祭殿への宝刀は森氏と海沿いの神官だけで行わなあかん。
それは。
That seems entirely too convenient.
八幡太郎義家が源氏の長者名代として最初の宝刀を執り行って以来の伝統や。
Mm-hmm.
不都合がある言うても、おいそれと変えられるもんやない。
言いたいことはわかる。そんな露骨な好機を向こうが警戒しないわけがないというのだろう。
Yeah, but they're also heavily bound by tradition.
それもありますが。
You should know that. You know, fucking your whole family did that shit.
無論警戒はしている。これまでも大将領は慣例通り単身の宝刀を行っているが、決して無防備ではなかった。八幡宮内はもとより周辺一帯に直属の武者衆による警備網を敷き、不審な者は犬猫一匹通さぬ限界の中で儀式を済ませている。
I'd imagine the Shogun's personal Tsurugi is
大将
probably
領自身も剣を離さ
a
ない。
real fucking mean machine.
儀式の前に当然祭殿の中は徹底調査されるから、あらかじめ資格を潜ませとくのも無理。どうにかこうにかうまくごまかしたとしても、武者の森氏を仕留められるのは武者だけ。鎌倉に六原と敵対する武者なんておらんから、結局のとこどうにもならん。
Yeah, if only there was some random loose Tsurugis
こう
bouncing
いうこ
around.
となんやけど、今のわしらならどっちもどうにかなってまう。資格を送り込むのは簡単やね。海沿い人を装わせればええ話や。んで、武者の森氏は
Yeah, a bit of an X
同
factor.
じ武者で倒せる。
ことが成功裏に終わった後は地下祭殿から飛び出して一足に市街まで倒産する。これは不意を打てば可能だろう。警備の兵は大将領の遺体と何者かに襲われて気絶し装束を奪われた。
残る問題は偽の海沿い人にどうやって剣を隠し
Yeah,
持
they're
たせ
kind
る
of
か。
big and
そのくらいやね。
conspicuous.
では、その後のことをどのように取り繕おうとも、 八幡宮で足利森内が討たれたなら、その容疑はまず宮殿下にかかります。問答無用の報復を受ける恐れもあるかと。
It is a grave matter to kill a prince. Under most regimes, I would not fear for his safety, but Rokuhara is not most regimes.
そこはまあ平気やろ。六原がアリバイを用意してくれるしね。
Okay.
宮殿下から資格を贈られても、六原には報復を加える力がある。しかし、そんな潰し合いをしたところで、幕府が得るものは何もない。
Alright, you're gonna be off somewhere else.
未然に防げればそれに越したことはないのだ。
人質。
宝刀参拝の当日、わしは不堕落に置いとかれるんよ。京都の朝廷がよこしてくる法兵士の接待中名目で、
八幡宮別当であられる宮殿下と法兵士が祭礼に参加しないのですか？
Nope.
そう。どちらも代理の者を派遣する。わしは参拝が終わるまで法兵士さんと二人、不堕落城で茶飲んでないとあかん。つまらんことしたらすぐにその首を落とすってみんな目で言うてるい。おお、怖。
いや、
Hard to relax in that
それ
environment.
は暗殺などすれば最後、宮殿下の恩義がたちまち危うくなるということでは。
As an alibi, it hardly meets the criteria.
ところがそうは限らん。
大将領森氏が健在な間の宮殿下と、失われた後の宮殿下とでは意味が異なる。
Could have been
森
other,
氏の
you
失
know,
墜は、六原
internal
の権能の動揺を意味せずには置かないからだ。暗殺に八幡宮側が関与した確固たる証拠でもあれば別だが、
just adding
それ
more
なし
fuel
に
to the
宮殿
fire.
下の粛清などを行えば、動揺は致命的なまでに加速するだろう。その程度の計算もできぬ者が、森氏亡き後の権力を握る宿坊の中にいるとは思えん。
So, Urkuhara takes the prince hostage as insurance to threaten his life if he attempts a coup. But if he attempts a coup anyway and succeeds, they can't follow through with their threat.
全くもって妙な話です。
歯に衣着せんでもええよ。
Oh yeah.
アホみたいな話やって思うてるやろ。
No, yeah, it's fucked. Everything's fucked right now.
実際アホな話や。このアホ臭さに六原が気づいてないと
But
も思えん
as
け
it
ど。
is right now, you know, if you don't act, you're gonna lose. You might as well fucking roll the dice and, you know, have a chance to, you know, maybe eke out a win.
結局、おごりがあるってことなんやろな。わしみたいな間抜けにどうかされるわけがないって思うてるから。おっはっ。
Hubris, but who planted the seed? Who nurtured it? Who...
影明？
いえ、
I wipe the sweat from the back of my neck, feeling as though I've peered into a yawning chasm. Once again, I'm reminded that politics is not a world I'll ever understand. Best defer to the prince on this.
くだくだしい話になってもうたな。まあ、言わんとするとこは分かってもらえたと思う。
Yeah, for the most part.
決断の時や。大和の歴史の流れを変えるために決断する時が来たんや。
影明。
どうやろ。
Yeah, fuck it, you know, let's go. And now we've come to it. The question I've been avoiding since this conversation began. Who will assassinate Ashikaga Moriyuji? But of course, I already know the answer. It sits like a stone in my gut. They would not divulge their plan to anyone who is not meant to be involved, and there is only one part of a plan like this where I could be of service. They did not summon me to ask for my opinion. They summoned me to ask for my sword. To ask me to kill the shogun. My hands are shaking. I clench my fists upon my knees, but fail to stop the tremors. His Highness and the Commissioner do me the kindness of pretending not to notice. It is the thought of murder which has unmanned me, as it must and always has. I understand the prince's reasons. I even accept them. On its present course, Yamato can arrive at one of only two destinations: submission to Rokuhara or submission to the west. Neither is likely to offer much hope or comfort to her beleaguered people. The shogun's death will change this course. Oh, the prince says, and with his hand on the tiller, a brighter future may await. I do not doubt that he's right, nor do I doubt that he is in the right, if right means doing what is best for Yamato. Even so,
殺すのか。
the shogun has no connection to Ginseigo. Will I take it upon myself to judge him all the same? To declare him worthless, claim his life? Then, with my return stroke, claim one more? They are giving me time to consider the proposal, because they know what accepting it will mean. I wield cursed Muramasa, the sword which slays friend and enemy both. If I choose to slay the shogun, then someone else must pay the price. Someone else. Who? Whom do I judge most worthy? Whom do I judge most good?
影明、お許しを。どうか、この儀ばかりは。
Wilt. I rejected them. For all that I owe His Highness, I cannot bring myself to kill for him, for Yamato. I will kill only to stop Ginseigo. That will have to be enough. It's already too much. Thankfully, they did not press the issue, nor did they swear me to secrecy, though they probably assumed that was obvious. They nodded once, then let me take my leave. So this could not have been my doing. Someone else killed the shogun. It is natural to suspect that the prince had a hand, but who could they have found to fill my role? Someone close to the prince, who could kill a Musha.
Ah, やっと落ち着いたい。ほんと肩こったわ。
お疲れ様でございました。
おまさんもな。じゃあけど、
Oh gee, I wonder who it could have been.
ここも足利の膝元って意味じゃあんまり変わらんね。
不堕落城内にいつまでも留め置かれるよりはまだしもでしょ。
そらね。ま、そんなことはええわ。早速本題やけど、どう思う？
About?
まさか影明君が。
いえ、それはありません。
Mm-hmm.
すでに確認を取りました。
Yeah, he didn't get, second thoughts and then rush to the scene to go do
影
it.
明は私の役宅から出ておりません。
じゃあ、どういうことやろう？
Got some vigilante looking out for you.
現状では、足利森氏が八幡宮もろとも
With
消
the
えた
entire
という
shrine.
事実以外に、
何にも言えんか。
はい、
八幡宮が消えた言うんは。
相変わらず工事用のカーテンが張り巡らされており、外からは様子を伺えません。ですが昨晩、どうにか配下のものを忍び込ませるのに成功しました。
なかった。
はい。
Well, that's one way to do it.
八幡宮が根こそぎ。
はあ、近隣の土地も含めて。
なんやっちゅうね。
わかりません。いさ
Yeah,
さ
it's
か
a little strange.
事態が突飛すぎ。
報道が悪い。どんな怪奇現象や。
今は宮殿下。それよりも今後のことを。何はともあれ。
Yep, things are in
大
motion
将領は
now.
姿を消しました。
Can't stop.
うん。
事態の謎は謎として、無論調査せぬわけには参りませんが、
Mm-hmm.
そればかりにかまけていては時勢に乗り遅れます。
Gotta make some power
今は
plays fucking hard and
当
fast.
初の予定通りに行動を起こさねば。
そやな。 こっちの思い通りには動いてるんや。手を打ってかんとあかんな。
は
幕府中枢のガタガタっぷりは予想以上のことになってる。頭が一つから4つに増えた途端、何をするにもいちいち揉め
Oh
るよ
yeah,
うになっ
we've
たらし
we've
ゅうて
seen a
な。
little bit of insight into their internal
わし
court.
の県
They're
庁時期
they're
がこんな
fucking
遅れたのも
mess.
そのせいや。いつまでも城内に置いといたって仕方ないのは、あいつらみんな分かってたのにな。
なるほど。国氏殿下は
若すぎるわ。一応近いうちに大正領4つが張るお方と奉られてはいるけどな。
同情したくなります。
本当にな。
宿坊の中で誰かが突出する気配は。
いや、それがね、うまい具合にパワーバランスが取れてるんよ。
Really?
まず最年長で聖戦両面の実績は抜群の古学坊遊佐同心やろ。で森氏の息子で国氏の叔父になる足利宗家出身のお弓久保、堀越久保、足利茶々丸は経済的に、笹川久保、大鳥獅子は軍事的に、
Oh,
4
so
人
no
の
one's
中
got
で
enough
最
of
大の力を持ってる。
enough of a balance of like all the factors, you know, to
どうや
have a good
見
lead.
事なもんやないか。
確かに
They're all in a
こ
Mexican
れは森
standoff.
氏の遺産でしょうな。
ああ、まったくうまいことやってたもんや。おかげで今、あいつらは苦労してる。森氏には都合が良かったんやろけどな。四久保の力が拮抗してるってのは。
すでに。
うん。実はもう当たりをつけてあってな。
お早い。
ただなあ、策の幅を広げるにはやっぱ力が欲しいわ。別に軍隊をよこせとは言わん。いざっていう時に当てにできる武者が一機おるだけでだいぶ話が変わるんやけど。
Yeah, you know, we got some breathing room. Might as well, you know, snatch up some people to our side while we're at it.
影明くん、手伝ってくれんかな。
申し訳ございません。宮殿下、どうかあの者につきましては。
銀星号でいっぱいいっぱいか。
は
そうやね。影明くんにはそっちに集中してもらおう。誰か他に。
Oh, geez, if only we had one agitator who really fucking hates
ない
Rokuhara.
ものねだりはみっともないけど、なんとかなら
Yeah,
んかな、
but
省庁。
track that you wouldn't know that she has a fucking Masamune.
ならんわな。
一人心当たりがなくもなく。
え、本当に。
は森氏暗殺のような仕事に使えるとも思えぬものなので、今後の件に関してなら話の持ちかけようであるいは。
Mm-hmm.
誰や誰や。
I mean,
もったい
yeah,
ぶらんと
but-
はよ。
は
Oh, yeah, you would have seen her. Duh.
スーパーサイクロンでどうだ？
いやよそんなの究極美麗でいいじゃない。
All right, what are you trying to name?
何ですかその下品の極致。じゃあマッスルストロングとか。
Muscle strong.
どうもいまいちね。混合大火輪。
うわ、ありえねえ。せめてダイヤモンドファイヤーにしない？
同心殿、
I don't know, coming up with like stand
これは
names or
何の
something.
闘技だ。
いや、なんでござろうか。それがしにもよく。
あ？は、新しい名前だよ。
名前
Yeah, for?
うん。今回なんでか知らんけど、おじじを失ってしまったアテラ六原であるわけだが、まあそれはそれとしておいて、いい機会だし、
Okay,
新しい
yeah,
方向性を打ち出してみるのもいいんじゃないかなと。
それで
And how do you plan to do
まず
that?
は形からってことで名前から。あ、ゴールドサンダー幕府とかどうよ。
悪くないわね。
Yeah, that's not too bad.
貴様らの頭が限りなく悪いわ。
まあまあ。いや、ご了承。それも結構でござるが、 ひとまず目先の要件から片付けようではござらんか。
なんかあったっけ？
Yeah, we kind of have to keep the government going and like not falling apart.
ありすぎるわ。
多分おじじが死んで、
Yeah.
幕府崩壊の危機。あれ、なんか大変っぽい？
うん、
Sure are.
なかなか大変でござるぞ。
今さら気づくな。同心殿も他人事のように笑っている場合か。
冗談だっつーの。
Yeah, man,
何
you
言
know.
ってんのよ。で、
It's not like us,
Right,
losing sleep
Why
over
don't
it's
let
gonna
them
stop from falling
八幡
apart.
宮事件
So,
の調査。
well, no, they can't find anything because the shrine's gone. There's nothing to be
進展
found.
はないわね。何もかも闇の中。一体何があったのやら。
まあいい。殿下が亡くなられたのはもはや疑えぬ事実だろう。
そうさな。その事実にどう対応するかを今は考えねばならぬって。
ええ、まずは盛大な国葬を執り行いましょう。天下を制されたお父様の葬儀ですもの。朝廷に掛け合って皇族の出席も仰がないと。
たわけ、そんなことはどうでもいい。
どうでもいいわけないでしょ。お父様の弔いなのよ。
Yes, but there's bigger fish to fry.
だから、たかが死体を焼いて埋めるだけのことだろうが。いや、その手間さえいらんではないか。
したいねえもんな。
この不敬者。お父様に忠誠を誓った口でよくもそんなこと。
俺が忠誠を誓ったのは、
Yeah.
生ける大正領殿下だ。そんな何の役にも立たぬ代物に構っていられるか。
And there's, you know, the fact that we currently don't have a shogun, so
役に立たぬ代物。
まあまあ、ライチョウ殿。
yeah, calm down, take a breath.
同心様、今のを聞きましたでしょう。礼節を知らないまた者上がりのザレ言と聞き流しておくにも限度があります。お父様がいなくなったのをいいことに下劣な差がをむき出しにして、元より少年はそんなものと分かっていたけれど、いざ見せられればやっぱり許せないわ。
ふん、好きにほざけ。貴様ごときが俺の差がをどう測ろう
Alright,
と
big man.
興味はない。俺は己のなすべきをなすだけだ。妨げる者は駆逐する。ラチョウ、貴様がほざく以上のことをしようというなら、最初にやり玉にあげるべきはそのケバケバしい首になるな。
Getting a little heated in here. Reverend, do you mind stepping in?
もっともそんな心配はしていないが。なあ、なぜか殿下の後継者になれなかった次男坊。貴様にもし度胸のかけらもあったなら、そんな立場に甘んじてはいなかったろうな。
Are we talking figuratively or literally here? You know, is he a eunuch?
ライチョウ殿。ここは殿中ゆえ、恋口三寸ぬかば、すなわち謀反でござる。
Let's all calm down.
無論四宿殿。ことさらに挑発の言を浪し、かような愚行へと追いやった貴殿も、糾問は免れぬぞ。双方お座りあれい。己の立場というものを今一度思い出されてはいかがかな。
Thank you for being the adult in the room.
結構でござる。では評議を続けるといたそう。
いやー、なんかおじじの苦労が忍ばれるね。よくこんな連中をまとめてたもんだ。いなくなって初めてわかる人間の進化。突き上げる追悼の思いに胸を塞がれた足利ちゃちゃ丸は
Come on, Sharon.
劇場のままカステラをむさぼり食うことで
帰るなよ。
さて、殿下の葬儀は無論大事でござる。六原一門の面目にも関わることであれば。
それは否定せぬが。
Yeah, we must have some kind of official state recognition, you know,
お黙り成り上がり
of
者。
this, but no,
さす
no
が
giant,
同心誘
huge,
導様。
whatever
こんな輩
fucking
とは違っ
state
て、物
funeral
の
you
道理
want
と
at
いうもの
3
をよ
weeks of
く分かっ
mourning,
て
you
らっ
know.
しゃいます。
No one can play happy music.
まあまあ、ライチョウ殿。
It's like
話
when
は
the
最
queen
後まで
died,
お聞き
man.
願いたい。
Fucking British LARPers, I tell you.
確かに葬儀は大事。しかし、大事の中にも傾聴がござる。順序と言い換えてもようござるが。
順序？
お考えいただきたい。現状で莫大な費用と人員を投じねばならぬ国葬など執り行えば、さていかが相なるでござろう。遺憾ながら今幕府の足元は揺れており申す。
Fucking bankrupt
その
yourself
揺れ
on
を
all this pomp and
大
circumstance
敵
and just get rolled by
GHQ
GHQ, yeah.
そして各地に潜伏する倒幕主義者どもが虎視眈々と伺っておることは疑いもなきこと。
でも
Or
だ
have
か
the
らといっ
funds
て
to respond to anyone for that matter. Oh.
無論無論、来長殿のご心痛は分かり申す。父君の壮麗を後回しにせねばならぬなど、ことして立つ瀬のない思いでござろう。ここはまず幕府の緩んだタガを締め直し、国氏公のもと体制を再建してこそ、草場の陰で殿もご
Yeah,
安堵な
maybe
さる
maybe
のであ
let's
る
get
まい
some
か。
you know, some sure footing under us before we try to fucking be all
今は
showy.
とにかく朝廷を動かし、国氏公への大将領宣言を急がせては。しかる後、新たな大将領の名をもって国葬を執り行えばよろしゅうござろう。
はい、異議なーし。
それが当然の筋書きだな。バカでなければ誰もがそう考えるだろ
う。来長殿、
依存はありません。
There we go.
確かにその方が無難でしょうから、少し気がせいていたようです。申し訳ありません。どう
You're
し
being
ます
emotional.
いやいや、一刻も早く父を弔いたいと願うは後進ある子であれば全く当然のこと。政略を解いて邪魔立てするそれがしこ
There
そ
we go. We're
恥
all
ずかしい
friends
て身の
again.
置きどころもござらん。
残念だったな、秀吉くん。ま、大徳寺はまたにしとけよ。信長公も秀勝も逃げやしねえからさ。
何を言っているのかわからないわね。
Well, it was a pretty obvious history, you know, reference there.
ちゃちゃ丸殿、
へへ。
室町短大の報告によれば、朝廷工作のめどはついておるとのこと。大方武家伝奏が形ばかり渋っているのでござろう。金でつついてやればすぐ動くわ。
国氏公の大将領周囲は
And grease the wheels
幕府
for
の
us, will
健
ya?
在を誇示することになる。少な
上辺を取り繕えば中身もそのうちついてくるってか。確かにな。まあ八幡宮の親王あたりが邪魔しなけりゃうまくいくんじゃねえの。
今は建長寺の親王だ。ふん、あの高貴な鶏に何ができる。
そうね。
余計なちゃちゃを入れてくるようなら、金ではなく針で尻をつついてやればよかろうよ。人を改心させるに経文などいらぬ。小金と鋼があれば済むものだからの。
坊主のセリフじゃねえぞ。
And it's why he's good at his job.
今更だがな。で、差し当たっての方針はそれで良いとしてだ。我々の身の振りをどうする。いつまでも不堕落城にガン首揃えているわけにはいかん。足元が崩れては元も子もない。おのおのの久保府へ戻り、官区の混乱を平定する必要がある。
あっちこっちできな臭い連中がちょこまかしてるみたいだからな。そろそろどっかで火がつくか。
そうなる前に手を打たねばいかんの。だがさて、この城に国氏公を一人残してゆくわけにもいかんし。
ああ、そんな真似
No,
を
one
する。
rat you can just step on it
国
and be
氏公
done
の
with it.
首は3日と経たず、
But you know, like
倒幕派
a
どもの
thousand
疑い
rats,
供されるこ
that's
と
a
に
bit
なる
much.
だろうよ。
太宰府の行くつらでも呼ぶ。
バカ言わないでちょうだい。
犬さん犬さん、餌をやるからおいでなさいってか、喜んでくるだろうの。
軍を率いてな。関東を舞台に我々とやつで決戦だ。
面白いじゃん。
面白さで選ぶなっつうの。あ
I mean, it
ん
would
な
be
獅子
quite
心中の
dramatic.
虫の標本みたいなやつを呼ばなくったってマロたちのうち一人が残れば済むことでしょ
う。ごもっともでござる。して、誰がその任を負うべきですかな。
マロとってお弓の情勢が気にならないと言えば嘘になります。けれどマロは国氏にとっては叔父。 一番近い肉親です。他の誰が残るよりマロが残る方が
You
国
sure?
中を安心させてやれるでしょう。
なるほどなるほど。いかにもさようでござりましょうな。
A slightly eccentric uncle that
そう、
yeah.
同心様のご賛同がいただけるなら安心です。ではこの件はそのように。
立場は立場はどうする？貴様が一人空入事項を抱えてこの城に残るのなら事実上の後見人だ。お弓久保のままでその役を務めるのか、
Like, I don't know, regent
何か
protector or
別の
something.
地位を用立てるのか。
そんなことはどうでもいいじゃない。今そんなことまで決めなくったって。
そうだぞシシク。アテラがいなくなった後で決めればどんな地位でも思いのままだってんのに。
Alright, back to the
騙
main
してやる
drawing
んじゃ
board.
ねえよ。
そうか、それは思いもしなかった。すまんなライチョウ。
して来長殿、何か副案は終わりでござるかな。
ええ、確かに国氏を補佐して政務を見ることになるでしょうから、一応相応の役職は得ておいた方が良い
Give
か
you
もしれ
some
ません、
authority and legitimacy to boss people around.
ごもっともごもっともして
関東関連の地位をいただければ国氏を存分に助けてやれると思うのですけれど。
I was hoping for something a little more flamboyant, but
ほ
はあ。そういや、アテの父親っぽい男がそんな役やってたよね、一時期。
ああ、関西計略に秘策を犯すまでは堀越盛政がその地位にあって幕閣を主導していた。詰まるところは執権だ。数年来空席だったその座をよりにもよって貴様が襲うと。
yep.
よりにもよって何よ。マロは足利本家出身、先代大将領の実子にして次代大将領の叔父よ。マロの他に誰が関東関連の地位にふさわしいっていうの。
誰がふさわしいかは知らん。だが
Ouch.
貴様がふさわしくないのは確実だ。
こんな。
まあまあまあ、それがしは来長殿の関東官僚就任
thanks,
賛同するに決してやぶさかではありませんぞ。
同心様、
喜ぶなたわけ。気前よくくれてやるとは誰も言っておらんぞ。
言葉のマジックだね。さすが天下のバサラクボ。
Alright.
そこにしびれる憧
What's
れる。
what's the deal we gotta hash here?
あんたらね。
シシク殿は反対でござるかな。ご自身がおっしゃられている通り、来長殿の官僚就任は祭りごとの筋道に沿うものと心得申すが。
だからなるほど、この天保戦は額面だけを見れば、慣例どころか大将領位を継いでもおかしくはないほどだが、それだけの値打ちを認めてやってもよいと。
同心様。
してチャチャマル殿のご存念はいか
It's
が。
like, yeah, sure, he's okay, but is he really that competent?
条件付きなら認めてもええよ。
条件と
関東関連だけじゃ足りない。来長、幕府のナンバー2になる
Alright,
気
yeah,
な
let's
も
spice
っ
it
と
up.
ゴ
Give it
ー
a
ジャ
little
スな役職に就くのだ。
pizzazz.
もっとゴージャス。
大体オチが読めたな。
大体オチが読めたの。
そうだ来長。ただの関東関連なんかじゃおめえの器にふさわしく
Let's
ない。
hear it.
違うか？いや違くねえ。あてはおめえの力を信じてる。
ちゃちゃまるあんたって子は。それで
Yeah,
ど
man,
んな
spit
違
it
い
out already.
関東関連代理補佐心得てどう？
格下がってんじゃないの。
賛成。
賛成すな。
そのあたりが折衷案でござるかの。
同心様までそんな。
冗談でござるよ来長殿。まあそうお
Can
忘
we
れ
get
召
back
され
on
るな。
topic?
それがしに異論はござらぬが、どうやらお二方は時期尚早と考えておられる様子。言われればなるほど、それも一理。
Yeah, the task of
我ら関東宿坊が足並みを
maintaining the
揃えて国
government
難に
as
当
it's
たるため
spiraling
に
into
も
chaos is those are some pretty big shoes to fill.
いかがでござるかな。 今回はひとまず見送っては。
でも同心様、国氏の補佐を務めるためにはそれなりの地位もあった方が政務を円滑に進められると。
要するにだ。地位で下駄を履かねば貢献役が務まらんのなら、
I mean,
そもそも貴様
you
はそん
do
な
have
役
a
割に
point,
ふさわ
but
しくない
also
のだ。
everyone in this room is a fucking slime ball.
実力が足らんというこ
Just
とな
trying
ん
to
だ
one
から
up each other.
ファイナルアンサー出ました。
おだまれ同心様、どうかこんな下船上がりどものざれ言に耳をお貸しにならずまろ。
I mean, seems pretty much to be 3-1 on
ざ
this
れ
one,
事に
but
せよ、
yeah.
そうでないにせよ。宿坊の半数を占めるご領所が賛同せぬという事実は、来長殿、重く受け止めるわけには参りますまい。
Just letting the fact that 50% are against it, speak for itself.
ここはどうかお慎みあれ。して獅子殿、
何かな。
来長殿が城に残られるのも反対でござるか。しからば国事項を守るお役目、どなたが務めればよろしかろう。
和尚でよかろう。
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
俺はこれ以上笹川を放置しておけぬし、ちゃちゃ丸は論外だ。
論外だな。あいつはいけねえよ。
消去法で同心殿しかおらん。
ふんふん。ちゃちゃ丸殿のご意見はいかがでござろう
I
か。
doubt she'll care.
いいんでね。
Yeah.
古賀はそれほどガタついてないみたいだし、もうしばらくあんたが帰らなくったって大丈夫だろ。
これは困り申したな。来
Yeah,
長
look
殿
at that. 50% don't want you, 50% want me.
はい。
And, he's probably going to vote for himself and make that 75%.
お二方のご推挙を受けては無限にもできませぬが、これではまるでそれがしが来長殿から役目を奪ったかのごとき市議。どうか来長殿のご存念をお聞かせください。ご不況とあらば、それは無論当然のことなれば、それがしよりご両名にお詫びして取り下げていただく所存にござるが。
とんでもない。同心様なら安心して国氏を
There we go.
お任せできます。
Everything's
お父
moving
様
along
に長く
swimmingly
使え
now.
最も信任の厚かったお方ですし。
Only had to twist your arm a little bit.
では、来長殿もお二人に同意と。
ええ、同心様、どうぞよろしくお願いします。
それでは致し方ござらん。身に余る隊員なれど、
So humble.
受けたまわり申した。この同心坊主、一名に変えても、国氏殿下をお守りいたそう。方々は官区に戻られ、所持を片付けられた後、再びご登場くだされ。
承知した。
Alright, we all got our
では
orders.
協議はこれまでということでよろしいでしょうか。
さようでござるな。お疲れでござった、来長殿。
いいえ、失礼しま
Yeah,
す。
yeah, don't let it eat you up too much.
挨拶をして出ていくだけの自制心は残っていたか。
ひでえ言い草だな。しかしあいつも空母なんかになんないで一回の侍大将やってりゃ幸福になれたのにね。
何よ、もう踏んだり蹴ったりじゃない。
Alright, and with that, as we're gonna end it here for today. I know it's a little short on your end, but I've been doing this for over 2 hours. So I'm done. I'm done for today. I had to fast forward through so much and I have to cut up so much video and stitch it all together. So, yep. Tapping out. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. See you guys all next time for the next episode of Full Metal Daemon Muramasa, where we will pick up with more political intrigue and shenanigans abound. Catch you guys later. Bye.